Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be part 2 of the texture project, and I want to bring out the pieces that I did. So there's the sand paste. Okay, over the text you can see the text a little bit through the dimensional sand here. And that's just one sheet. This is the dimensional effects, which is like a modeling paste. You can see the text through there. And for the purpose of this video, because with all the combinations of what I'm going to show you when it comes to paint, it could be hours. So I'm going to show you some basic mixtures and that, and then you can basically take whatever you have at home and try a similar experiment. This is the modeling paste. Again, very, very similar. You see the text through. The texture glass, this I absolutely love. It's perfect for a resist. Absolutely love this. And then the texture crackle. You can see just a little bit of crackle. You'll be able to see the visuals on my blog for all this. And then this one was, now this I'm pretty sure had to do with the heat. How the paper was all curled. And same thing with this one, because see how cracked this is? And this particular, for this example, it was like this. So it might have to do with the book paper, the thickness of the paper. Okay, this did not have gesso on first. This did, so it does affect different things. This was just a solid piece on. This was a stenciled piece. So all that comes into play. And then the bonus ones that I did, which I totally forgot about because I still have stuff packed in boxes. This one is the DecoArt modeling paste because they have different lines. Okay, look how thick that is. That is so thick. It's that one. And then this is the texture fine. Has a nice feel to it. So this would be good for an actual theme for a piece of artwork requiring some type of thick. So if you're doing something, maybe a side of a house or something, brick house, you could use this through a brick stencil. This would actually be kind of cool. This one is the thick texture. This is really thick. It almost looks like paint with little pieces of rock in it. I did the two of the, this is the texture terracotta. This is black. Okay, you can't really see, it's just so flat finish, looks like terracotta. And the one that I absolutely love is this one, the texture fierro. This is wrought iron. And, sorry, iron black. I'm getting mixed up. Iron black for this one. And nice and shiny. Now for this one, I want to show you pieces that I've done. This is an example. So this is an example of a little ATC that I prepared. And this is using the black, and then there's a blue color as well. You can create artwork on that. This is one with gold. This is one with a blue. You can put it over a transparent metallic and then stencil it. Very, very hard. Then this one I did this is the Traditions. This is the carbon black, dry brushed over, and then I stenciled. This is, what stencil is this? This is one of the border stencils from Americana, DecoArt Americana, and beautiful. And then I did the same stencil just on a solid black. Think of that for a card, a really wicked card. Okay, love, love, love that. And I like it because it's visually interesting, and anything that I can touch. I mean, just anything that wakes up the senses when you touch, it's just amazing. And it's super duper early in the morning right now because we're gonna have a beautiful day. So I thought I better get these videos done before we have new fencing going in, and you know who's gonna start to bark like crazy. So what I have prepared in front, you don't see it. I have a variety of mixtures. So what I'm gonna do is, I've already prepared this ahead of time. So I'm going to do some samples of paint. So I've got Quinacridone Magenta and Titan Buff in the DecoArt Media Fluid Acrylic line. I have the Titanium White and Sapphire Blue in the DecoArt Traditions Artist Acrylic line. This is the professional line. And then I've got the Metallic Luster in Brilliant Turquoise and in Rose Gold. And then this is a chalky finish. This is, I have to find the English one, Smitten and Innocence in the DecoArt, the Americana Decor chalky finish. And at the last minute, I pulled out these ones here. I'm also going to try Mister Spray, okay, which is the turquoise, shimmer mister, turquoise, glass stain in orange, and then the matte medium with some glamour dust in golden crystal, just to see different things. Like I said, whatever you have at home, this is where you experiment. I would need probably 5 or 6 different pieces of this or one massive sheet to try all the different combinations. So I'm just going to try a few. But I want to try it on the book paper so we can work with the transparency. So with the sand paste, what can we do with sand paste? Well, with the sand paste, I don't really want to alter the sand because if I use it for a piece for beach scene, I really don't want to alter that color. It's actually pretty nice just the way it is, but I want to show you what can we use? Well, let's use the Titan Buff and Crackle Magenta, just so we can see how it takes paint. I'll just use the Titan Buff for this one. I lied. And I'll take a little brush. Let me just take a little round brush. Let me get my paper towel. So because the Quinacridone Magenta in the Media Fluid acrylic line is so powerful, I want to make sure that I don't have any water. Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Oh, that's right. Chaos. There we go. So what I could do is I could just come in, I can just stain the individual piece. Look how well it takes the paint. It just sucks it right up. Now as a resist, not so much because it's so absorbent. So if I were to apply a wash of color over the whole thing and try to wipe it back over this, it wouldn't remove because this is so absorbent. I can take, if I were to go over here, and I would not recommend it to use your very expensive brushes for this because it's so textured. I actually should use the brushes that I give kids when I'm doing kids lessons. I should use those brushes. Now as I'm doing this, and some of them I can actually see the text through them, and now as I'm painting over, I can't see the text is disappearing. Now the Quinacridone Magenta is a semi-transparent, so it's just the fact that it's just the color is just pushing it over that edge. But you can see even putting the color in between and then on top how much the sand medium really absorbs the color. Beautiful. And if you want to completely get rid of the color, you could do something that's more opaque like Titan Buff, which is the closest in color to the actual medium, and so you wouldn't really change the color, but you would get rid of all the text if you ever had a reason to do that. So the Titan Buff is the closest color. I mean, you can make up Titan Buff with let's say the media version is made up with 2 different white pigments. You can make something similar with titanium white and let's say maybe some raw sienna. That might be a bit brown, so just use a tiny bit. So you can even cover up that Quinacridone Magenta. It covers it up really, really well. The only way you will learn, and you could listen to 50,000 different artists, the only way you're going to learn, and what's going to be, kind of going against what I'm saying, is stop watching YouTube videos, get your products out, and just try the experiment. See what your materials do. change the color a little bit. Now what I'll have to wait to see is what this is going to dry like. 'Cause I know that acrylics dry a little bit darker once the water evaporates, but it'd be interesting what that actually turns out like. And I can see a little bit of the text here, right here. Okay, so that's the sand paste. I'm already getting an idea of how I can use that in one of my book of backgrounds. Oh. Okie dokie schmoky, what's next? Dimensional effects. Dimensional effects. I better go get some water, so hang on a sec. So dimensional effects, let's try, I want to try with some metallic luster. And I'm going to grab a little cloth here. No. I'll try with the tiny little stencil brush. Okay. Now I have some of this stuff that's completely dried out, which actually works nice as like almost like a watercolor. This is like a wax. Use very little to start. But basically you apply it, then wipe off, and there's, you know, the instructions of what to do with it. I like to kind of push the boundaries to see what you can do. You apply it and then you buff it. And what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the edge so I can get a hard outline on that edge. And going in on the opposite direction, going towards the center. You can also paint your paper first, that's fine. I wanted to try to do these on a neutral background just to show the effects. And the sunlight's coming in and it's right in my face. Not going to complain. Today's probably the first day where Joe actually went out for his walk in jeans and a jacket. 13 degrees outside. And I think the day before yesterday, I think we hit like 39. See how far that wax goes? And I can keep going. So it's not all the same value on everything. Just keep it different. Some parts will be light, some parts will be darks. But don't use your expensive brushes on this. Go. If I want to apply more, oh, that's already dried out. You can apply it very heavily. And what I'm doing is I'm applying and buffing at the same time. Okay. And then you're typically supposed to take a soft cloth and then rub to buff it so it's really, really shiny. And you can also, it's also water soluble. So I can come in put that on there. That's what I love about this. It being water soluble, you can get some of that nice color in there. So even if it dries out, you can reactivate it. Okay. Now let's try. So that's actually kind of nice. So let's try the rose gold. They have a whole bunch of new colors, which are really pretty. Now I'm going to get a different brush so I don't contaminate with the blue. Oh, that's really nice. So if I just apply a whole bunch, then I'm just going to use the brush to apply that. You know what brush would be really perfect for this? My number 8 Bristle Bright. That, next to the Sable Tech brush, is probably my ultimate favorite brush in the entire world. I was at Michael's yesterday picking up some alcohol ink, and I looked at the brush, and the brush is only $3.99 Canadian. I mean, shh, don't tell Royal, but that brush should be a lot more. That's kind of neat. And you can bring it down. I can even go over another color. You can do some color mixing. So you could do a whole bunch of different things. And then just a damp baby wipe. Because it is water soluble, you're not going to get everything off there because what's on there is very, very porous. But look how I'm just pushing it back. See? Just push it back. Make it much softer. That's beautiful. I love that. Okay. Okay, put you aside. The modeling paste. Now the modeling paste is very similar to the to dimensional effects. So I'm going to leave that at the end if we have time. What do we have? I do want to show the patio. So the patio paint, let's try with chalky paints. So I picked these really light colors because the patio paint thing is really, because it's really dark, and I didn't close this container all the way. I've got a skin on here. I didn't close the container properly. And because it's summertime, I have a whole bunch of popsicle sticks accumulated. So I'm going to give that a nice stir. I used to shake the container, but then all the paint got on the lid and it just made a royal mess. Put a little bit of that on the palette. Pop that in the water container. I'm going to close this right away. Now, happy accident. I like it when the paints are a little bit thicker because then I can thin them down. When the paints are too thin, then there's nothing you can do about it. This one I already used earlier on, so it was last night. So with this, what you can do is, let's see, I'm going to rinse these brushes here. I take a little, is that going to be hard enough? I need to pick up some tiny bristle brushes. I do have, but they're for my professional paints and I don't want to ruin them. So with this here, what you can do is you can do a dry brush, and this is the effect. I absolutely love this effect. It's a real grungy, but it's very hard on the brushes. Now, if I was using the soft grip brushes, it wouldn't worry me so much because they are inexpensive. These Aqualon brushes are mid-range. And I have another set still in the package, so that's why I'm not worried about these, because I have nothing else to use. The Majestic brushes, the ones that are the black handles, are way too soft for this. But if you're looking for good brushes to use for a lot of this mixed media, you won't go wrong with the soft grip. And they have that nice rubber handle on here. It's acrylic, so there's nothing to crack. What I like about the Aqualons, though, they've got this tapered edge, so it's great for flattening stuff out. So, a question that I like to ask people, especially when doing texture stuff, is do you like adding texture to your artwork? Like, do you add texture to your artwork so people are inspired to touch it, or do you like just to add interest? Do you do it to make it look three-dimensional? Do you apply it You know, if you're doing landscape scenes, you try to emulate the actual, like if you're doing a rock, painting a rock, do you like to use texture paste to create a rock? So I can put this on solid. I'm not a fan of the solid, the complete solid coverage. I like the dry brush coverage. And keeping in mind too that because if you're using a dry brush coverage, some of the black is going to show through the underlying color and it's going to change the look of this. Now, look at the difference between something that's freshly put on and something that's dried out. So that was interesting on that one. Now what? No, oh, wait, I'm dying to try a whole bunch of stuff, but we have limited time. The texture glass, this is used to plastic and glass to actually, you know, to make it like stained glass. What I like doing with this, and on stuff that's non-porous, I like to think of it being done the same way. So I'll just put it on. I'll put it on because I started using stuff like this on actual journal pages and it's beautiful. It is really, really nice. You can stencil this on or you can just leave it as is. And when I go across, it really hits the edges. So wherever I want an edge to really pick up some of that color, I'll go in that direction. Nice stain. You know, like I said before, you can pre-paint these papers as well. You don't have to do it this way. There we go. And that's the orange. Yeah, that's the glass stain orange. That's really nice. Now, what I also wanted to show you, I want to do another one on texture glass. Let's use, oh, I'm going to make a mess. Actually, what I think I'm going to do, I got to pick up BBs for this. I was doing some face painting yesterday, and the paint pens have a stainless steel ball inside. I thought that would be a really good idea for those misters. Let me get a large brush. I'm going to get some water. So this is the shimmer. So I'm going to apply that everywhere. And this, I did this by accident. Because I wanted to find a way that I can get a really, really good resist without using wax. And I know you can use gel products and stuff like that, but your pages get really, really sticky. Look at that. That's cool. You let that dry, and then you can come back and you can wipe. Like if I tried to wipe this all back, I might remove some of the paper, the color on the paper. Actually, it's not too bad. Use a baby wipe that's not sopping wet. There you go. Now, if I would have painted the paper first and then did the texture glass, the blue would have shown through. I love that look. Love, love, love that look. Okay, so put that aside. And I've got two more things to show. The Crackle is its own thing that you can paint your page, then apply the Crackle and the color will show through, then you can paint on top of that. That's its own technique. That takes a long time to do because it's never perfect, because your environment always has something to do with how things dry. So I'm using the Traditions, this is the Sapphire Blue. And I picked that color because it's opaque. Again, there's so many different techniques that you can use on Crackle products. Oh, you know the one thing oh shoot, I should have did the antiquing wax, the cream I should say. So just by brushing over, the paper's getting stained at the same time, and then the brush is just going over the cracks. See? This one's a little bit different because the paper is so bent out of shape. So let's see, if I were to take a paper baby wipe and pad some of that. How I would use this is actually, I would probably cut it out and use it as a piece of something. Like I normally wouldn't stencil something like that, but I could use it for, think of cobblestones. Use it as cobblestones, bricking. See, that piece came off. This also, you should seal it. So as a resist, it does work. You just got to be careful though you don't actually pick up one of the pieces, like here. It's coming up. So on a sturdier, so this is the Crackle paste. So on something sturdier than paper. This is the texture Crackle. So this actually works out okay. So that's that. And the modeling paste. So let's try with the matte medium. This will be the last one. Oh, I wanted to have one more to show actually. So if I take a little bit of matte medium and let's say just go over everything. Okay, I'm going to give it a second to tack up, and let me I have no idea if this is going to work. My initial thing was just going to be to stencil, to put the glitter on top of one little stencil piece, but I thought, why not just try it with oh darn, oh, I don't have any paper. I have a blasted art studio and I don't have any paper. Flippin' heck. The matte medium helps hold it. Now when you're doing this, make sure that you're not in a you don't have any air movement, because you don't want the stuff to blow. Like there's a little bit here, I'll just take that into my garbage can and just tap that. And anytime you're using particles that become airborne, make sure you don't have any animals in the room. And don't inhale it. All the DecoArt stuff that I know of is all labeled AP and non-toxic, but still. There you go. So you can apply, and then what's done is that the metallic, the glitter is actually like this. It's all inside the. It's all in the raised edges. So you can see the sun coming in. There we go. You can see. There we go. Sun came at perfect time so you can see the shine. That's really pretty. So that once that's dried, I'll actually put either fixative on there, some Spectra Fix, or maybe a little layer of matte medium to seal that. And I think that's it. It's all we have. I think all we have time for. But so you just get an idea of just try different things that you can. Try different things. Let me see if I can squeeze one more in. If you want to knock back if you want to knock back some shine, use a stencil brush. And there really isn't any correction method for this. So if you're a perfectionist, then don't do this, because you're not going to get perfect results on this. And remember, do not use your good brushes. Anytime you're using a texture product, do not use your expensive brushes, because this really wears it down. So this is keeping the glitter, the shine of the Fiero, the metallic, but I'm just changing the color a little bit, because now, unless they've changed, they don't have a white Fiero. I should actually go online to see if they do. Just gonna quickly clean out the brush. There we go. See how that really knocked it back? In comparison to that. So there's an application for all this stuff. You just got to experiment and try all these different things. So I hope that you got some ideas of what you can do with this stuff. Go raid your art tools. Find stuff that you haven't used in a really, really long time. That stupid cloth won't stay away. Find stuff that you haven't used in a really, really long time. And, you know, try different experiments. You know, pick a stencil and just do like swatch cards like this. And, you know, what I should have did was make a note, you know, texture glass with, you know, the glass stain orange and that. I can pretty well, you know, I'll refer back to the video if I need to. Just try experiments like this, different things. The texture glass one, from what I'm going to be using it in one of my Book of Backgrounds videos, was totally accidental. And just to show you, I'm going to be using gesso to push all this stuff back, and what's going to only show through is the wherever the texture glass is. There you go. All the color underneath is going to show through. Everything else is going to be pushed back to a white. And then I did something similar with the leftovers. This is with the chalky paint. Isn't that beautiful? So totally accidental, and now it's a product that I hope they will never discontinue. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. So what I'd like to know from you is, do you use texture in your artwork? If you do, what do you like? What's your favorite technique, and what products do you use for your favorite technique, and you know, how do you apply it? And do you apply texture so people can touch your art, or just to give it, you know, give some 3D effects to an element that you're painting? Type in the comments below, and just to let me know, because I love to hear what you think. And if you have some pictures, share them in my private Facebook group. It's a free group. The link to that is at artplace.ca. You can also scroll down to the description box, and I have links there to my blog and to the Facebook group, to a website, and all that other stuff. Connect with me on social media. Now, if you like this video and like to see more of these types of experiments, click the like button just so I know that, you know, what you think. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe, so every time I do a new video that you'll be notified, and so you don't miss out on anything. Alrighty, so I will leave you with that. I really had a good time, and thank you for being with me. This was a bit of a longer video, but as with any experiment, you have to try everything. So I'm off to clean up, and I'm going to be jumping in to do that Book of Backgrounds video with the texture glass on the file folder. So until I see you next time, stay inspired.